Now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus, of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. In the sun-drenched hills of Judea, nestled among olive groves and fig trees, lay the quiet village of Bethany. It was a humble place, yet it carried in its heart a divine history. For in this village lived a man named Lazarus, and with him, his sisters Mary and Martha, devout, hospitable, deeply beloved by the rabbi from Nazareth, whom they had welcomed often into their home. But now, the air in Bethany was heavy not with incense or celebration, but with sickness. Lazarus lay pale and weakening, breath shallow, sweat upon his brow. His sisters, filled with dread, did the only thing they knew to do. They sent a message to Jesus. "Lord, the one whom you love is sick." Far across the Jordan, where Jesus had gone after the rising tensions in Jerusalem, the message reached him. And his reply was strange to those who heard, "This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified through it." Yet Jesus did not move. He remained where he was for 2 more days. But not from delay, not from apathy, but from divine timing. There was something greater to reveal something beyond healing. After 2 days, Jesus turned to his disciples and said, "Let us go to Judea again." The disciples were hesitant. "Rabbi," they said, "the Jews just sought to stone you. Are you going there again?" But Jesus, with the calm authority of eternity, answered, "Are there not 12 hours in the day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble, because he sees the light of this world." Then he spoke plainly, "Lazarus is dead, and I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, that you may believe. Nevertheless, let us go to him." So they rose, and with the dust of the road clinging to their feet and the weight of mystery upon their shoulders, they made the journey back to Bethany. By the time Jesus arrived, Lazarus had been in the tomb 4 days. The mourners had gathered. The air was thick with wailing, incense, and grief. Word reached Martha that Jesus was nearby. She rose swiftly from the house of mourning and ran to meet him. Jesus looked into her soul and said, "Your brother will rise again." Martha nodded, perhaps with resignation. "I know that he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day." But Jesus leaned in with divine fire in his voice. "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he may die, yet shall he live, and whoever lives and believes in me shall never die." Do you believe this? Martha answered with boldness, "Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who is to come into the world." Martha returned to the house and whispered to her sister Mary, "The teacher is here and is calling for you." Mary rose quickly, and the mourners followed her, thinking she went to the tomb. But instead, she fell at the feet of Jesus, weeping. "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her sorrow, and the sorrow of the others weeping, something stirred deep within him. A divine ache. He groaned in the spirit and was troubled. "Where have you laid him?" he asked. "Lord, come and see." And then, in the shortest and most profound verse in all Scripture, Jesus wept. Not because he was helpless, but because he loved. The Word, through whom all things were made, wept at the grave of a friend. God himself stood among the mourners and shared in their pain. Some whispered in awe, "See how he loved him." Others muttered, "Could not this man, who opened the eyes of the blind, have kept this man from dying?" Now Jesus, again groaning in himself, came to the tomb. It was a cave dark, ancient, silent, with a stone rolled across its mouth. "Take away the stone," he said. Martha, ever practical, cautioned, "Lord, by this time there is a stench, for he has been dead 4 days." But Jesus turned to her and said, "Did I not say to you that if you would believe, you would see the glory of God?" So, they rolled the stone away, and Jesus lifted his eyes to heaven and prayed, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me, and I know that you always hear me, but because of the people who are standing by I said this, that they may believe that you sent me." Then he cried out with a loud voice, a voice that pierced death and darkness, "Lazarus, come forth!" The crowd froze. Time seemed to hold its breath, and then from the depths of the tomb there was movement. The man who had been dead 4 days in the tomb came out, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, his face wrapped in a cloth. Alive, and the crowd gasped. Some fell to their knees. Others fled in terror. Many wept in awe. And Jesus, the life-giver, said simply, "Loose him and let him go." This miracle was no mere act of compassion. It was a sign, a divine foreshadowing of what was to come. In just days, Jesus himself would enter a tomb. But unlike Lazarus, no voice from outside would call him forth. He would rise by his own authority, the resurrection and the life. Lazarus was raised to earthly life again. But Jesus would rise to eternal glory and offer that life to all who believe. "I am the resurrection and the life," he calls still. To every soul bound in the grave clothes of sin, sorrow, and fear, come forth.